Now, Eddie, the Aussies obviously did put 50 past Italy at the weekend, but their defeat to England was their 8th of the year. Where are they at the moment?
Well, they seem a bit lost this season.
Looking forward to this answer.
They seem a bit lost, to be honest. You know, they've struggled all year. They struggled in the Lions tour. They've struggled since Mackenzie took over to find a rhythm, to find a shape. I think there are a number of issues. They've had injuries. They've had a little bit of indiscipline in camp. They've lost one of their best players, James O'Connor, through indiscipline. I still think they haven't found a fly half, although they seem to be putting all their chips on Quade Cooper. But overall, I think the Wallabies, we know the structured game they play is gone. I mean, I think Robbie Deans destructured the Wallabies. I don't think they ever got their head around that. I thought Ewan Mackenzie might restructure them because he did that with the Queensland Reds, and he had Genya as the main playmaker. Well, Genya's been dropped now, so they seem to be in a place where they're not sure what they're at. And I think the giveaway was in Twickenham when they were ahead, and they looked like they were going to kick on and win the game. A couple of bad calls went against them. They fell behind, but they never recovered. They never looked like the Australia of old, who lift their game, take it through phases, and make an opportunity to win the game. So they're a side at the moment trying to find themselves, and the clock is ticking. And at the moment, under Mackenzie, they've won 3 from 9, which is pretty poor return for any Australian team. They're getting pounded at home. They're slipping off the newspapers and the websites in terms of news for the Australian public. So it's a crisis situation. They're losing money as well as a union. They've had to cut back the player remuneration. 2 of their super franchises have lost a lot of money. So Australia is in a bit of crisis at the moment. But having said that, they're always dangerous, and they're no less dangerous now, the fact that they're like fighting for their lives.
Well, surely they are that bit less dangerous. Surely this is a game that Ireland should be going out and looking to win.
They certainly should be going to. Obviously, they're looking to win every game.
Yeah, but it's a game that they should be winning, is what I mean.
Well, I mean, we only got a glimpse of Ireland. I mean, you go back to the Ireland's form in the Six Nations, you'd be saying by that form they shouldn't be winning. But I think with all the players back, I mean, there's a huge plus the fact that O'Driscoll and O'Connell are fit. Let's call a spade, 2 of Ireland's probably greatest players. I think the way the games are falling this year as well is quite beneficial to Ireland. Normally, traditionally, you'd have the Samoa, the Islander type game in between the two, Southern Hemisphere. But if you like, you're getting your easier game first, and you're working your way up to Australia and working your way up to the All Blacks. So I think it's in their favour that way. But I think Australia have struggled in that they don't have the strength and depth that the teams like New Zealand would have and so forth. They are weak in certain positions as well, and teams that will buckle down and start attacking them in the front row. You saw the way the Lions dismantled them in the final test. That is a huge Achilles heel of them. So, and we all know the old saying, I mean, forwards aside who wins matches, backs aside by how much. So it's going to be a huge challenge for them.
When the pressure comes on for Australia, that's what I've noticed about them the last few months. They just crumble a little bit. Eddie mentioned there when they went ahead against England, they lost control. They're continuously trying to chase a game and attack a game, where they're lacking that bit of control and balance when they get in front. Historically, we've done very well against Australia, so it is a game we should be targeting and trying to win. But I think when that pressure comes on, they crumble. They have some world-class players. They have some great individuals, but just collectively, when they get the few injuries, the set piece is struggling a little bit for them. So I think we should be aware of them and very wary of them if we make the same mistakes we did last week. But
well, let's look at some of those, because I know it's the defence that you were very concerned with.
Well, their attack is pretty good, I think, if they get good quality possession up front. So that's a if from the scrum. And we look back to last Saturday, you know, we've 6 Irish guys here against 5 Samoans, and we're just too lateral. You see Jamie Heaslip, Gordon Darcy, Paddy Jackson. They're all looking ahead. They're not looking what's around them, and it's just a simple little loop play, and we get a line break there, and that's poor defence. That's something that Les Kiss will be looking at. We look again here. We're very tight. The Irish defence is very tight. Conor Murray, Jackson, O'Driscoll comes out of the line, and they look like there's no communication there. And I think, you know, if we're like that next Saturday, we'll be punished. Again, 7 players here against, you know, 5 or 6 Samoans, much too tight. 1 pass takes out about 4 guys. It's something that Les Kiss will really be working on during the week. I think the Australians come with, you know, when Cooper gets that ball on Saturday, he'll have a winger off his shoulder, he'll have 2 centres running hard, he'll have a full back on the outside. That's all if he gets good quality possession. So you'd have to assume that they will get some good possession. These guys run hard. If there's gaps there, and I think they'll be better than the Samoans. If they get a line break, there will be another Australian on the shoulder. It won't be Rob Kearney one-on-one. He'll have someone to put it away. So Ireland need to really tighten up, identify what's in front of them, stop going lateral, and I think they're kind of planting on 2 feet. So it's something that they need to really tighten up in the next 2 weeks.
Well, we need to see what team he's going to put out, because he did surprise, I think, a lot of people with the selection last week. Is he going to just revert to his strongest 15, his strongest bench, or do you think he might continue to tinker, make a couple of changes here or there?
Well, I think his Sexton's going to come back in anyway, obviously. You know, will he pick the likes of Marshall in the midfield ahead of Darcy? That remains to be seen.
Do you think he will, and do you think he should?
I think Darcy's actually been playing very well this season so far, better than I've seen him play other years. Was last Saturday one of his better games? I don't think so. Marshall has been playing well, so there's an argument either way. Dave Kearney, I thought, was superb when he came on. Will he put pressure on McFadden? So there might be 1 or 2 changes along that. But I think the key here is how are Ireland going to play this game? Are Ireland going to go out to win this match, or are they going out to play rugby and having winning as a byproduct? Now, let me explain that.
And to test players as well.
Yeah, but that's very important. I mean, are they going to take these risks inside their own half to entertain the crowd, or are they going to go out and kick to the corner, put that ball up the jumper, keep it slow, boring, scrum, reset, scrum, reset? That is how they'll beat Australia. But the question is, are 1 to 15, certainly the forwards will be quite happy to do that, but will the outside backs be quite happy to do that? That is the question.
That is suggesting that the reason Joe Schmidt plays the rugby he does is to entertain the crowd, but the reason he plays it, isn't it, is because he's been successful with it.
I don't buy into that at all. I think he's going to try and win the game, but I don't go along with Frankie completely. He's right, you have to do the basics. We have to have our set piece right. We have to be very physical, and we put pressure on the Australians, because we know at the moment they're very brittle, their confidence is low, and we have to go after Quade Cooper, who is very volatile. And if you get into Cooper, as we saw in the World Cup, the guy can lose it in an instant, and that would unhinge them. But I don't think that it's all about that. I think we can go out and play as well. We can still take the things that we're trying to do against Samoa and take them to another level. To get that done, going back to selection, I think he will load up. I mean, it's a game Ireland have to target Australia. OK, they're ranked above us, but we know when we get them into Dublin, we've had success against them, and this is as good a time as any to go after them. We're in a pretty good place at the moment. I think that would be a great foundation for having a crack at the All Blacks the week after. If we lose next Saturday, then the All Blacks game changes. You know, we start thinking, well, maybe not this year. But I think we beat Australia, we do well against them, then we really believe we can kick on and have a crack at the All Blacks. So that dynamics has to be built this week. OK,
well, all we have time for is a quick prediction. So in a word, are Ireland going to beat Australia?
Yeah, I think they will.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, that's a nice way to finish. All round optimism. Let's hope it's founded as well. That's all we have time for tonight, though. My thanks to Alan, to Eddie and to Frankie as well. Ireland v Australia is live on RT2 television and on Radio 1 on Saturday, and we'll be back to review it all at 7 o'clock next Monday. Until then, bye-bye.